Hello, everyone. Good evening. Welcome to the Healing Truth channel. My name is LaFrance. I am a life coach, mentor, motivational speaker, and also a healer. Love coming through with a little healing truth. Thank you for tuning in this evening. This is going to be a very short video. Of course, another blackout. I like that, term, blackout. I got it from some of my YouTube family I watch when the screen is black. One of them days you don't feel like filming. So it's been that day quite a few days, and it's okay. Sometimes it's important to just get the message so you can, you know, get what you need. But thank you guys for tuning in this evening. It's so funny because every time I get ready to start my video, my little dog, she likes to do all this moving around and all this extra stuff. So I had to, right before I started, I had to literally, sometimes you got to fuss at them like they're children. And she listens. She knows she's getting fussed at. So when you have pets, you understand. They become your family. Um, Speaking of that, in which I was went for a walk, took a nice little trail walk, and as I was sitting there, I just kind of sat and meditate, and kind of got a deep thought. And as I'm sitting there, I see this guy walk by. He kind of jogs by with this little dog, and the dog kind of stopping and staring at me, tuned in on me, not pay. So he started dragging him and making him come. So as I sat there for a while, the guy comes running back without the dog, and I'm like, "What the heck is going on?" So this is not what my video is about, but I just have to get this out because I love animals, and I kind of cut a few things because I was concerned about the dog. But so as he started running back, he was running back around because where I was at, like where you hike, there's a long trail. It takes you through different parts of the town, but I didn't go that far. I kind of paused and relaxed, and he came running back. And when he ran back, it was a while too. He came running back without the dog. So I started getting worried. Like, I had all these thoughts in my head, like, oh my gosh. I prayed. I said, God, I hope he didn't do nothing to that dog. I hope he didn't ditch the dog. I hope. But then he came back around running back, and then that's when I figured, like, okay, it dawned on me, yeah, he probably have the dog tied up somewhere so he can get his exercise because he was jogging and like working out. So I just had to say that real quick because I don't play when it comes to animals and children. I just don't mess with the children. Leave the babies alone, and don't mess with my animals. So I had to say that. I had to get that out. But anyway, this evening, really quick, I just wanted to talk a little bit about being in solitude. Something that I've learned on my journey. How for this is for my introverts, my people who are introverts. I had to learn a lot about myself, especially during this journey, being an introvert. It's kind of like, it's been very peaceful and therapeutic for me. I've been able to, but there's a difference from just being an introvert and being spiritually introverted. And there's a difference there. And this is just my personal opinion, how I look at it. When you're spiritually introverted, um, you're literally tapping into a lot of things and getting a lot of downloads. You're connecting with your inner self. You're doing the things that's necessary to connect with the Most High, to connect with the universe, to connect with your spirit, and you just kind of reach certain levels of ascension. You reach certain levels of ascension. You reach certain levels of knowledge. Your eyes are open to a lot of things, people, and places. And I've always been an introvert, but this is my first time really being spiritually introverted, being a spiritual introvert. Um, I've always been a type that, I like to be out, I hung out and things like that. But I also spent more time being closed in inside. I'm like a homebody. I like to have. I spend time at home with my loved ones. That's the type of person I am. But I still had ways of the world, and when I was connected with the matrix and things like that, I still was in the world. I wasn't just I was of the world. I wasn't just in the world, because we're supposed to be in the world but not of the world. Then I was of the world. That plays a major part in the in being a spiritual introvert, because being a spiritual introvert, like I stated, you learn a lot more about who you are in depth. You learn more about spirituality. You learn more about truths and things, the truths that you haven't been taught over the years. How manifesting, about a lot of the things that was shunned back then. As our generations, this is for everybody. For a lot of us not realizing what spirituality really it was, because we were trained to think a certain way. So it's really hard. This is just my intake. Most of the people that I've encountered who have a really high sense of spirituality are not really extroverts. They're introverts. And the reason for that is, me personally, this is just my personal opinion, because most of the people, and especially us, a lot of us who are chosen star seeds, light bearers, children of the light, however you want, there's all different categories, but we all doing the same. We all have a purpose. We were chosen for this purpose, no matter what. We're all out here doing work for the Most High Creator to bring this world to a better place. Most of us were introverts. I learned a lot more being introverted spiritually. When I just gave the example of being a spiritual introvert as opposed to just an introvert. When I was an introvert, I still did everything I did. I was, hey, I wasn't connected. I still was following the belief system. Still, just not really in tune with who I am and just how the world really is. A lot of the things, the ways of the world. When you hit a certain level of awakening, my awakening happened, like, I would say 3 years ago. That's when my awakening really kicked in. I would say 3 years. Yeah, 3 years ago. And it was after I eliminated a lot of low vibrational things out of my life. I kind of let a lot of things go, from people, places, jobs. I made a lot of sacrifices in my life to really understand and connect, and I had to be brought all the way down to be able to open my eyes. And it was like I got hit with an awakening, and it took for me to be in a lot of solitude. And I looked at it like this. I looked at it like the Most High Creator protected me from a lot of things that I didn't know about, which is one of the reasons why I was in so much solitude and introverted, and focusing on connecting with the Creator, connecting with my ancestors. And I started getting a lot of downloads, being closed in and being solo, just being to myself. And to me, it played a major part in my life, being an introvert and being spiritually introverted. That means, when you're spiritually introverted, you download a lot more spiritually during your awakening. So the more spiritual you become, the more you want to be by yourself or around people that's on your vibrations. A lot of the times, it's really, for a lot of us who are at this level of ascension, we don't really have people around us that's on our level. And when I mean on our level, spiritually introverted. There's a lot of people that's introverts, but there's not a lot of people who are spiritually introverted, who are dealing with a level of spirituality where you have to stay to yourself, because otherwise you're going to stand out to people that is not comfortable with the level of consciousness, the level of awakening, the level of spirituality that you have, because there's a lot of people who still stuck in belief systems and the matrix where you're looked at different. So a lot of us have a tendency to stay to ourselves and tune into our spirituality, just connecting with nature, connecting with spirit, meditating, praying, trying to tune in and absorb things that's healthy to your spirituality. When I was on my introverted, being closed in and solo and really focused on my spirituality, I had to start eliminating things that I was taking in my mind when it came to a lot of things. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not knocking anybody, to each their own, but I had to stop watching a lot of stuff. I had to stop listening to certain music, especially when I started to wake up and understand who people were, who real, who's not, what's this for, what's tainting, what's trying to destroy our people, what's this. So I had to clean myself out. It's like you give yourself a detox. You detoxing your spirit. It's not just your mind or your body, it's your whole spirit. Your spirit is detoxing. So you have to learn how to let certain things go. And you can't do it if you're out and just around people that's not tapped in. A lot of people aren't tapped in, and even for people who are introverts, they still have matrix tendencies. There's a difference from us who's spiritual and introverted as opposed to people who are just introverts, because just because you're an introvert don't make you introverts and extroverts. It just depends on how you vibe. I think everybody personality is different. You have a lot of people who like to be out. If you're not familiar with introverts and extroverts, there's a difference. You have extroverts who outgoing, they like to be out, be around people, all that. Introverts, we're internal, we're intimate, we like to be by ourselves. We like, I'm the type of person, I can be out, I can socialize with people, I love connecting with people, I'm very outgoing, but I have to recharge. I can only do so much for so long where I got to get back and recharge, and that too, I think that plays a major part in our spirituality, because that's another thing I started to understand about myself. I'm like, man, I'm starting to feel certain, my anxiety was increasing. I've always had few minor issues with anxiety, stress, anxiety, and things like that, but as my awakening increased, my anxiety increased. So I got more and more, it was more and more hard for me to be around people because I was all discombobulated. I had to get myself together. I didn't know what was going on with me for a minute. You think you're going crazy, all type of stuff. So I had to learn that it was all energy. A lot of that is energetic, it's energy. So for a lot of us spiritual introverts, when I'm balanced now. Now that I'm aware, once you kind of understand, learn yourself, connect with spirit, pray, meditate, you start learning about yourself, you learn about energy, you learn about how everything is energy. And when you're at reaching certain levels of vibration and energy, when you're out around very low vibrational people, it's draining. And I didn't realize that's what it was. I was starting to reach levels of ascension, which was making it hard for me to be out around people who are not at high vibrations, because you just see, especially during this pandemic, it was starting to get hard, because it's like I knew what was going on, and to just see people around here panicking, that's all they talking about, it was messing with my anxiety, because it's like you want to shake them and say, wake up, don't you see what's going on? But it was just like, it was hard. So that's just how I looked at things, and how that's my experience with being spiritually introverted. It's I'm at the place now where I feel great. Like I'm balanced. I'm pretty well balanced. I can handle being around people, because once you reach a certain level of ascension spiritually and energetically, a lot of the things don't affect you, because you know what to turn on and what to turn off. You know how to disconnect, and you know how to limit. You know how to just avoid certain energies. You know, we're in a world where you just can't avoid energy from everybody, but you can avoid your intake on it. You know, if somebody disturbing your peace and things like that. That's why a lot of us stay solo. We stay introverted, because until you can really get around your tribe of people, your family that is on the same vibration. For a lot of us, we're scattered everywhere, so there's not many of us around each other. So we have to, it's not because we think we're better than anyone. It's just the fact that spiritual introverts, we have a lot that we have to protect. We have to constantly protect our energy, because we're powerful beings, you know, and we can't have our energy levels drained, or our light trying, they'll never dim our light, you know, but you can't have your energy drained, you know. And me, I'm the type of person, man, I spot fake from a mile away. I can smell it. I can see the fumes of a fake person. And it's that's just me. You know, I can tell when people aren't genuine. I feel it on their spirit. That's how a lot of us are. You know, we're sensitive. We're spiritually sensitive. You know, so we're sensitive to people's spirits. You know, and I had to learn a lot while I fell back from a lot of people, you know, because I can just sense how fake they were, you know. And it's not just being mean, it's just being real. You know, you can sense when people are genuine, and you can sense when people are not. And you had to allow people, I had to allow people to be great and fall back and just start connecting with what's important, and that's my spirit with the Most High. You know, connecting with my ancestors, you know, understanding, constantly trying to learn about myself, our energy, because a lot of us don't realize how energetic we are. We're energy, we're beings that we're made out of energy. Everything is energy. You know, what you put out is what you get back, and so many people don't realize that. That rhymed. What you put out is what you get back. So many people don't realize that. I like that. That was nice. Um, but yeah, I just felt like, you know, I feel like that was a difference. This is just something that I came up with myself personally. You know, sat and thought about that, how a lot of us just learning and listening to other beautiful spiritual individuals and their stories and the things that they're experiencing, and how we're all out here trying to keep the vibration of this planet up. You know, it's good versus evil. So a lot of us are trying to save our strength for when it's necessary. We can't have anybody draining you, you know. So that's a lot of reasons why we stay to ourselves. Some people may think you know, I think you think you think that you're better than us and all this, and that has nothing to do with it. It's just some people don't want to change. They have allowed themselves to be possessed by these entities and these spirits, you know, and it's so unfortunate. So all we can do is pray for individuals and stay away from them, and allow the Most High, and pray that they connect with themselves, their inner self. And you know, because not everybody's strong that way. So that's why it's important for a lot of us to stay low. You know, I stay low key. I like to stay low, out the way, you know, until the Most High put us where we need to be. That's an important thing. But I just want to come through really, really quick with this video, because I feel that there's a difference. There is, to me personally, I believe in spiritual introverts and just introverts. And that's the difference from the spiritual introverts and the regular introverts. The spiritual introverts are on a spiritual level. So there's a lot of things that we encounter and we are dealing with, and we're constantly raising. It's levels to the spirituality. You know, first it starts with the awakening to what's really going on in this world. You know, how it's good versus evil. A lot of the things that's going on in this world that a lot of people some people haven't awakened to. So it starts with the awakening. Then you just go through all these different trials and tribulations and things God put us through, you know, having faith, understanding truth, knowledge, letting go of things. You know, people hold on to too much worldly things. You know, we got to learn how to live in a world. And this is something else I'm gonna talk about, because back in the day, way back when our ancestors, we didn't use money and food and commodities. People weren't charged for that. But that's something I'm going to talk about another time. That's going to be my Wisdom Wednesdays. I got some great stuff for you guys on Wisdom Wednesday. But that's all I wanted to come through with this video. I pray that everyone is doing well. I pray that you stay positive. Keep up the beautiful work. All you beautiful beings, all you children of the Most High Creator, all of you beautiful gods, goddesses, kings, queens, you prophets and prophetess and all these beautiful, awesome people out there. Keep up the good work. I love each and every one of you guys. We're going to keep it going. We're going to keep the vibration of this planet up and keep it spitting that truth, because it is what it is. So thank you guys for tuning in to another one of my videos. You guys have a beautiful, awesome night. Peace, love, and light.